from the stream. And if I get a thumbs up from him, let's do it. All right, guys, this is the quarterfinals of the Alienware Arena. We've got Dignitas Select versus Evil Genius's Axslav. This may not be the last game that I cast, but this will be the last round that I cast. If you guys want to see the finals, y'all are going to have to tune in on July 6th. That'll be casted by the fine folks over at MLG. Of course, the Alienware Arena is brought to you by the fine folks at MLG as well as e-rev. I did not forget. And, of course, Alienware also going to be a great event with some nice prize money and I believe some hardware as well. So huge shout out to the sponsors, huge shout out to the players, huge shout out to you guys, the spectators. I hope y'all are enjoying watching these games. I'm sure having a good time casting them. And Select versus Axslav. Holy smokes. We've got Axslav, the Red Protoss player, at the 3 o'clock position. And guys, he's been at the top of the North American scene for a long time. Super talented player, and a win here would really, really, really turn some heads, as Select is supposed to be unbeatable. The blue Terran player spawning over at 9 o'clock. That is Select. So we're gonna see what this game, what this set has in store for us. And once again, I just want to remind you guys that when the finals do take place, that's going to happen on July 6th, unless I'm just completely mistaken. And if I am, I'm sure somebody will correct me. Do tune in for that. It's going to be a big blast, a big lot of fun. I don't know exactly who the casters are. I want to say JP and Wheat, but I do not know for certain. So that's just theory crafting. That's like me saying I think Select's going to make some Marines here. That's complete theory craft. So one gas, one gate going down here for Axslav. One gas, one racks going down for Select. And I have no idea how this game is going to shape up. I have to feel like the metagame as a whole right now is favoring Terran a little bit in this matchup. And oh god, Protoss players, forgive me. But as Terran players are beginning to use so many ghosts, EMP is just becoming so good at knocking out shields and basically halving the effective HP of the Protoss army, and that makes the Marauders super effective. Second racks going down here for Select. So we've got one gas, two racks, no expo as of yet, and Cybercore going down for Axslav. He's just taking his second gas. Always love looking at the APMs here. Select's cruising along at about 240. Axslav cruising along at about 40. So staying true to his reputation as a slow and steady wins the race type of player. And I am just super excited to see what's going to happen. Concussive Shell is going to be the first research for the Terran player. Of course, Marauders are pretty good units. I hear they do okay against Stalkers, and they're not too bad against other stuff either. And a reactor on that second rack. So we're going to see some Marine Marauder coming out. Maybe a little bit of early pressure. I love it when Terran players push with just like that first Marauder and a couple handfuls of Marines maybe. Would love to see something like that. Meanwhile, Axslav has his first Stalker out. He's just poking around looking for anything he can find. I don't really know where this guy thinks he's going. I guess he's checking for proxies. Proxy starport is always something you have to consider, as Banshees are no fun to deal with at all. And economically, we can see that Select is a couple workers behind. That, of course, is the nature of things, as Chrono Boost will allow Protoss to produce probes a little bit faster. And then, of course, mules are supposed to offset that in their own right. Now, Metalopolis is the map. I haven't really talked about that yet. This is a really awesome map for this matchup, I feel, because it's so damn balanced, right? I think you could argue that the Xel'Naga towers make it very difficult to hold gold bases, but Colossi and Siege tanks both have the same range. Wait, that can't be right. But they both have long range, and they're both able to shell expansions, so like from the Xel'Naga tower. So what I mean to say here is that both races have equal capacity to deny the gold should they choose to do so. In other words, meaning that this map can be easily split and can easily lead to big long games. Wow, that was a long-winded way of me saying that I think this is a balanced map for this matchup. So we have Marines and Marauders pushing out just like we talked about. And woo, Proxy Pylon there for Axslav. That's an interesting choice. So I don't know what he's going to do with that. Maybe he's wanting to make a couple of zealots to go harass with. I'm not so sure. But I feel like Select is, yep, he's onto it. He's going to knock out that pylon, no prob. Going to knock out that probe, no prob. There's not going to be any pressure coming out of Axslav that Select will stand for. 3 gateways, a lot of sentries, and ooh, Axe is going to push anyway. He's going to push with just sentries and a single stalker. I don't know if I like this choice. I feel like the army of Select is far more intimidating than what Axslav has here, even with a lot of force field. But Axslav he's pushing the issue. He does have a proxy pylon up, so he will be able to reinforce here, which is really interesting. Axslav bringing a lot of pressure, and I don't like it, guys. I don't feel like he has nearly enough. There's 2 bunkers. There's a lot of Marauders and Marines. They're immediately going to tag that first stalker, and Axslav has to be sort of rethinking this whole stance. And he is, in fact, going to back it up. Backing it up. So both guys securing expansions, both guys with similar economies. If we look at the income, we can see that Select is out mining Axslav. He does also have 2 mules active, 3 mules active right now. Holy smokes. Obligatory mules are good comment. And look at this. Axslav still trying to find an angle that he can attack from. He's being very persistent with this. Select also being very safe, pulling SCVs just to make sure that he doesn't have to freak out and die. He doesn't want to let this bunker go down, is what I'm trying to say. And look, he's got these SCVs at the ready. He recognizes the threat. And Axslav's going to go for it. A couple good force fields going down, but there's just so many units for Select here. I still don't like this choice to engage by Axslav. He's just kind of losing stuff carelessly. And you can see here on the units lost tab that Axslav is absolutely getting the worst of this. 7 units lost, 700 mineral or resources, I should say, lost to the only 200 resources lost of Select. And oh dear, not a good waypoint there for that stalker. A couple Marines going to get picked off, so that's a small victory for Axslav. And I guess one thing he's absolutely doing with this pressure is he's forcing Select to be a little bit defensive, and he's also forcing Select to reveal all of his tech, right? I mean, Select is using everything at his disposal to defend this. So Axslav is indirectly he's able to scout everything that he sees, and whoa now, Warp Prism. Now this is awesome. A little special tactics here. So this Warp Prism is going to kind of not do anything. I don't know, man. Loading up a couple sentries. Oh my god, he's going to force field the ramp, and he's going to warp in on top. And now Select is in trouble, guys. There are 2 racks in the main, so there's just no chance. Select pulling SCVs to kill these sentries, and force field being going down on the ramp. Axslav was such an awesome attack, keeping all the units out of the main of Select, warping in Zealots, and Select doing a really good job of defending. These Zealots are kind of being forced to stay away from the ramp as all of Select's units are there, and he's just trying to kite to the best of his ability, and Axslav just holding this ramp, keeping force field up, warping in more and more units, doing huge damage to the economy of Select. Select has lost like 10 workers here, down to 25 SCVs to the 38 probes of Axslav. And this is just such awesome play out of Axslav. Love the Warp Prism. Everybody says we need to see more Warp Prism plays. Still locking down that ramp. In the meantime, Select does have medevacs out. He has been able to drop. Axslav still reinforcing into the main of Select. That Warp Prism probably needs to load up and get out of there. And excellent, huge, tremendous damage having been dealt here. Focusing on SCVs. Select's still losing workers, still down at 25 workers before Axslav finally backs off with a 42 probe to 25 SCV advantage. Tremendous little push. Love it. Love it. Absolutely awesome. So I did not catch that Warp Prism in production, but man, that was cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gateways from Axslav. And now the robotics bay down. Colossi are going to be produced here soon. And Select knows that he has to come back and do some damage. And the army of Axslav is way out of position. I don't think he's seen this. He is bringing his stuff home. And look at this, Axe is going to drop again, warping in some Zealots and then loading them up. But there's a huge push coming to his front. And I do not know if Axslav has any chance of holding this. The Terran army is much, much larger. I feel like Axslav is almost certainly going to lose his expansion. He's spending so much energy kind of microing this little harassment. And look at this. Select has split off the army. Nice force fields, but there's just so much stuff here for Select. In the meantime, the economy of Select getting just destroyed in his main, but the army of Axslav getting absolutely decimated, doubling the army now, loading up a huge drop, going to drop the main. Axslav is in a world of trouble. He's warping in stalkers in the main. This is like a base race of epic proportions. Gateways are going to be focused down. All the probes are going to die in Axslav's base. No Colossus is ever going to see the light of day. The entire main of Axslav is going to be lost here. Panic-stricken, he's maynarding probes everywhere. Huge losses being taken on the units tab. We can see 18 SCVs for Select, 17 probes for Axslav. The units tab, the army shows that things are almost even as Axslav has been reinforcing off of this warp prism. Where did it go? Did the warp prism die? No, it's still alive. But Axslav has no money, so he can't build any more units, and Select still has the vastly superior army. So Select is in full retreat. This is just a base race. The command center is running for the hills, and the entire main of Axslav is just being razed to the ground. Razed to the ground. That's a phrase that never really made any sense to me. So Terran is now going to push down into the third base of Axslav. Axslav has taken another expansion up at the top of the map, and he's running his probes up to that expansion. Now, Select is going to lose everything he has as well. I can't imagine these reinforcements are, being able to do a whole lot. Select now supply blocks, not able to produce anything else, but still, he's got an 80 supply army, and both guys have equal workers. So, I mean, just Select, he's in much better shape. As much as I don't want to say it pains me to say it because he's an awesome player and I love seeing him win. But look at this. He's also gonna be able to secure this base, and he'll be able to mine again here soon. And look at this. He's also managed to salvage his main with reinforcements out of his barracks. So I think Select able to weather the storm. Way ahead. 11 Marauders, 32 Marines, and a mining base to boot. Similar economies, but mules in these low economy situations are so much stronger than they are in, I guess, a more normal situation. Like a Terran player on one base against a Protoss player on one, like 10 probes to 10 probes. The mule just completely turns that on its head. Select's going to be able to make so many more units. Axslav, I don't know, man. He's in trouble. Select has been stemming quite a bit, but Marauders tagging these stalkers. He's going to get a couple free kills here, and I have to feel like this is the end for Axslav, as Select is just kind of running him down. Needs some force fields to save some of that army, but I don't think it's going to happen. Axslav going to turn and fight. He is going to... Oh, such excellent control, isolating some units, but Select just lifting them up and then dropping them behind the force fields. Just absolutely impeccable play here out of Select. 75 supply to the 35 of Axslav. Axslav desperately trying to stand, throwing down a Twilight Council. If he can get DTs out, he's always got a chance. And Axslav with some cute control of his own, picking up and saving some units. He says, I can do that too, Select. But man, the disparity in the armies just seems like it's going to be too much. Select getting his infrastructure back in place. He is, in fact, mining healthily, and he doesn't appear to be dropping mules. He's just kind of saving energy. I have to feel like he's either saving energy for scan, just in case of DTs, or he's just neglecting the macro, but it doesn't really seem to matter. He's just got too much stuff. The last of Axslav's units, our stalkers, are going to go down here. Here goes his main. The last of his gateways going to fall. Marines running into his only mining base. There's the GG. Very exciting game. Extremely novel play out of Axslav there with the warp prism and the force field on the ramp. Doing huge damage, but just not able to prepare for the big counter that Select had coming his way. Awesome play from both players, and we're going to see what map Axslav wants to play next. Don't go anywhere.